What if something you've been doing in private for years, something you always believed was perfectly harmless, could be quietly holding you back after 60? I'll never forget a woman I'll call Margaret, 74 years old, sitting in my office with her hands folded carefully in her lap. Not because of a disease, but because of a private habit she thought was safe. She looked at me with a mix of surprise and sadness and whispered, "I didn't realize I was hurting myself." And she's not alone. Millions of women over 60 continue with the same intimate routines they've practiced for decades, not realizing their bodies have changed, and that what once worked smoothly may now be quietly undermining their vitality, intimacy, and even pelvic health. I'm Dr. Lisa Perriera, a gynecologist who has spent more than 30 years caring for women through every stage of life. Over the years, I've helped countless women navigate changes in intimacy, confidence, and health after menopause. And let me tell you something. Many doctors never say out loud after 60, the way you touch yourself matters. Yes, masturbation is natural. Yes, it can be healthy. But after menopause, your body is different. Blood flow slows, hormone levels shift, and nerves respond more slowly. If you don't adapt your approach, this private act can quietly affect your body, your mood, and even your sense of womanhood. That's why in this video, I'm going to share 5 powerful truths about self-pleasure after 60 truths that could preserve your sensitivity, protect your pelvic health, and reignite your confidence in ways you never thought possible. Stay with me, because the final truth might completely change how you think about aging connection and your own body. But first, let me share a story. One of my patients, Eleanor, age 72, looked at me one day with tears in her eyes. "Doctor," she said, "I can't do what I used to do. Does that mean I'm no longer a woman?" That question broke my heart, because it reflects a silent fear so many women carry but rarely voice. But here's the truth. Your sexuality isn't broken, it's evolving. If you've ever wondered why things don't feel the same, or whether intimacy still has a place in your life, you're in the right place. Before we dive into the first truth, do me a quick favor. If you believe women over 60 deserve honest, respectful conversations about health, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and click the bell. That way you won't miss future videos where we break the silence on topics most women your age were never told the truth about. All right, let's begin. The first mistake many women make is believing arousal should look the same as it did at 25. So many tell me, "Dr. Lisa, I don't get wet as quickly as before. I guess I'm broken." Here's the truth. After menopause, changes in estrogen levels mean your tissues respond differently. Blood flow is slower, lubrication takes longer, and sensations may feel muted. But this doesn't mean your sexuality has ended. Think of it like a flower. In spring, it blossoms quickly with little effort. But in autumn, the same flower needs a bit more sunshine and water before it opens. It still blooms, just differently. Another mistake I often see is using intimacy only as a physical outlet while ignoring the emotional side. I once sat with Brenda, a retired teacher in her late 70s. She told me I touch myself almost every night. Not because I want to, but because I can't sleep otherwise. She had turned intimacy into a coping tool for loneliness and anxiety. And while self-pleasure does release calming brain chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin, helping reduce stress and improve sleep, when it's done without awareness, it can become empty. Imagine eating chocolate when you're sad. At first, it feels comforting. But if you do it every night without really tasting it, eventually the sweetness fades and you're left unfulfilled. For Brenda, the routine was there, but the meaning was gone. The third mistake is thinking, if I don't use it, it doesn't matter. Many women believe that if they don't have a partner, their sexual health no longer needs attention. But your body doesn't see it that way. Without regular stimulation, vaginal tissues can thin, blood flow decreases, and nerve endings grow less sensitive, a condition called vaginal atrophy. It's similar to muscles weakening when you stop exercising. Frances, a 74-year-old widow, came to me in tears. I finally met someone new. But my body doesn't work anymore. Her body wasn't broken, it was simply out of practice. With gentle, consistent attention, she slowly regained sensation. And here's where it gets tricky. If neglect can quietly harm your body, what about the opposite? What if the tool many women secretly rely on, the vibrator, might actually be dulling your sensitivity over time? That's the next truth most women have never been told. So how do you move forward? Let's start with a few gentle adjustments you can make right away. The first is simply slowing down. Your body now works more like a slow cooker than a microwave. That's not a flaw, it's just biology. Blood flow takes longer, so giving yourself more time and patience makes the experience richer. Another quick adjustment is using the right lubricant. Dryness is common after menopause, and a simple water-based, fragrance-free lubricant can transform the experience. I remember one patient, Maria, who thought pain during intimacy meant she was too old. In reality, she just needed lubrication and gentler pacing. Within weeks, her confidence returned. Moving into more medium-term solutions, one powerful step is to vary your methods. If you've relied on a high-powered vibrator for years, consider taking a break. It's a bit like listening to music at full volume. Eventually, whispers are hard to hear. Giving your body gentler, varied sensations allows your nerves to reawaken. Another step is engaging your mind. Neuroscience tells us your brain is your largest sexual organ. Visualization, focusing on your breath, or even gentle stretches before touch can deepen the experience. And don't forget your pelvic floor. Simple Kegel exercises a few minutes a day can increase blood flow and sensitivity in ways that truly matter over time. For the long term, I encourage women to see self-connection as part of their wellness routine. Not something secret or shameful, but a ritual as natural as meditation or stretching. Even once or twice a week of intentional practice keeps your tissues healthy, boosts calming hormones like oxytocin, and reminds you I am still alive and deserving of pleasure. And lifestyle plays a role too. Staying active keeps circulation strong, and nourishing your body with leafy greens, omega-3s, and hydration supports your tissues. In fact, one of the most overlooked factors is something as simple as water. Even mild dehydration reduces lubrication and makes intimacy less comfortable. A glass of water or herbal tea before you begin can make a noticeable difference. If you've found these tips helpful so far, I'd love for you to join our community. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell, and share this video with another woman who might need this encouragement. Together, we can break the silence around women's health after 60. Now, all of these solutions are powerful, but they become truly inspiring when you see how real women have transformed their lives with them. In the next part, I'll share stories of women who thought intimacy was over for good, until they discovered a new way of connecting with themselves. I want to share with you a story that always stays with me. A woman named Barbara, 68 years old, came to see me after her divorce. She looked at me and said, "I still touch myself, but it feels like nothing reaches me anymore. I feel disconnected." At first, she assumed it was simply age. But as we talked, the truth became clear. Her nightly routine with a high-powered vibrator had trained her body to respond only to one kind of stimulus. It was like listening to music at full volume every single day. After a while, the gentle notes and whispers of life were lost. Barbara felt trapped, as though she had lost the ability to connect with herself and with others. But she didn't give up. Together, we worked on slowly resensitizing her body, setting aside the devices, reconnecting with her breath, exploring softer forms of touch, and learning to listen to her own rhythms again. It didn't happen overnight, but within weeks, she started to notice gentle sensations returning. A soft caress that once felt empty began to feel alive again. Her smile told me everything I didn't think I could feel this way anymore. This is why I often tell women your body is like a garden. If you water it the same way every day, always pouring quickly into one corner, other parts of the soil dry out, the roots weaken, and the flowers stop blooming. But if you learn to water gently, evenly, and with care, the whole garden thrives. Your sexuality, your intimacy, your sense of self. These are not lost just because you've reached 60, 70, or even 80. They are simply waiting for new nourishment. I've seen women who thought their intimate lives were finished discover that with a little patience, intention, and self-compassion, their bodies responded in beautiful, surprising ways. One of my patients once said, "Dr. Perriera, I thought that chapter of my life was closed forever, but now I feel like I've started a new book." And that's exactly what this stage of life can be, not an ending, but a new beginning. So if you've been feeling that spark fade, or if you've believed the cultural myths that desire should quietly disappear with age, let Barbara's story remind you it is never too late to rediscover connection. And we're not finished yet. Because in the final part of this video, I want to give you a simple recap of what we've learned, and most importantly, leave you with a message of hope and encouragement. We've covered a lot together, so let's pause and gently recap the most important truths. First, we learned that arousal after 60 isn't broken, it's simply different. What used to happen quickly may now take more time, more intention, and that's perfectly natural. Second, we uncovered that intimacy is not just physical, it's emotional and neurological. The way you connect with yourself can ease anxiety, improve sleep, and nurture your sense of belonging. Third, we saw the reality of the use it or lose it principle. Just like muscles weaken without exercise, your intimate tissues need regular attention to stay healthy, elastic, and responsive. Fourth, we explored how relying too heavily on strong mechanical stimulation can dull your senses over time. But with patience, you can reawaken the softer touches and rediscover the beauty of subtlety. And finally, we embraced the truth that self-pleasure at your age is not a liability, it can be a lifeline. A way to honor your body, maintain your health, and keep alive the spark of being fully, wonderfully human. When I think of all the women I've seen, Margaret, Brenda, Frances, Barbara, and so many more, I'm reminded of one precious lesson: desire doesn't retire. It softens, it shifts, but it never has to disappear. If there's one thing I hope you take from this conversation, it's this: you are still whole, you are still worthy, and you are still capable of intimacy, pleasure, and connection. Your body has not betrayed you. It is simply inviting you to listen differently, to approach with patience, and to rediscover yourself with compassion. So here's my invitation for you. Stay curious about your body. Honor its changes instead of fighting them. And most of all, never let shame or silence make choices for you. Because your health and happiness, even in your later years, are the result of the gentle, intentional choices you make today. If this message resonated with you, I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these truths spoke to you most deeply? Your story could be the one that gives another woman the courage she needs. And if you want to keep learning and reclaiming your health with dignity, please subscribe, click the bell, and share this video with a sister, a friend, or anyone who deserves to hear it. Together, we can break the silence and remind every woman that age does not take away her right to feel alive. Because you deserve the truth. You deserve support. And you deserve to feel whole today, tomorrow, and always. And before we close, let me remind you this video is for educational purposes only. It does not replace medical advice. Every woman's body is unique. If you are experiencing pain, significant changes, or have personal concerns, please consult with your healthcare provider. Your well-being deserves personalized care.